And this brings to mind a verse from Gospel of John chapter 1, verse 10, where it says, "And he was in the world, and the world was made through him, but the world did not know him." Mm-hmm. He came to his own, and those who were his own did not receive him. Now, if you think about the irony that's contained in those verses, that he created the entire world and creation that we live in, but he is not...
According to our beliefs, but go ahead.
But he is not welcome in his own creation.
Well, the only thing I can say about that is, and I'm in total agreement with you as far as today is concerned, the only thing is I have read the book, and I understand that in the final chapter he wins, and all of these things will be rectified one of these days. Because if we believe this other part, then we have to believe the part that says that there will come a day when every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. Now, if all this comes to pass, then we who have lived the Christian life will be vindicated for this and joyous over it, and ultimately all the rest of the world will be too. And if we're wrong, hey, it's still been a hell of a ride, and I've enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Okay?
So we just have to rest in that faith.
If we're going to have faith, and if we're going to believe part, we have to believe all. And he said, if I be lifted up, he said, I will draw all men unto me. Mm-hmm. And this is why I differ religiously from all these people that are going to go to hell and go to hell. I wouldn't worship a Jesus. I wouldn't have a damn thing to do with a God that was so weak and so pussyfooted and whatever else, that he's going to have to sneak in here sometime in the dark and in the dead of night to pull out about 3% of the world's population, and all the rest of the things that he created is going to burn and rot and mold and milder in hell and in eternal torment. Now, if he's not a big enough God that he who set the stars in their space, he who set the tides, he who set the bounds for the children of Israel, and I'm talking about ancient Israel now, then I have got to believe that the other things that he said will one of these days come to pass. And if he said, if I will draw all men, then I will draw all men. Otherwise, he's lying. And if he says every knee will bow and every tongue will confess, then I have to believe that in time, his time, not my time, not man's time, not theology's time, but in his time, whatever that may be, he will see that all of these things are done. Even as the apostle said, and that as in Adam all die, and we know that all do die, so in Christ shall all be made alive. And if I'm made alive in Christ, man, I am an heir and a joint heir with him. So now either what he said was real, or what he said was a lie, one of the two. Mm-hmm. So I put my faith and my trust and my belief that he's a big enough God that in his own way, his own time, as he works it out, he will do all of those things that he said he would do. And that's why I bow my knee at this time of year and give thanks, and why I have peace and tranquility and joy and all of those things in my heart, because I think that God's still on the throne. I think he's still in charge. I don't think he's dropped the ball. I don't think he's screwed up. I don't think he's in a great big battle with Satan and all those kinds of things. I think he wins, because at least that's what the book says to me.
Right. You know, it's just the difference of living in man's time versus living in God's time.
That's right.
And you can be sure that in God's time, which I think is coming soon...
well, this is his time. He's got everything under control. He hasn't dropped the ball. He's in charge. He says, I put up kings and I bring down kings. And I establish nations and I destroy nations. And Bill Clinton's in the White House today because God predetermined that he was going to be in the White House. And that's the way that it works out. Hon, I love you. I appreciate you. I wish you Merry Christmas and thank you for a delightful conversation. I'll be back right after these messages.